Self-defense forces have dumped water on the crippled number 3 reactor building at the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power plant in an effort to cool down its spent fuel storage pool.
今上空からヘリコプターが第3号機に向かって飛行しています。今水を投下しました。今ヘリコプターが第3号機に水を投下しました。
The helicopters began dousing the damaged reactor housing building at 9:48 Thursday morning. The SDF dispatched 2 CH-47 helicopters equipped with devices enabling each to carry 7.5 tons of water. They were accompanied by another helicopter that measured radiation levels above the plant. The first water dropping operation was completed at around 10 a.m. The helicopter operation came in response to rising fears of radiation leaks, as water in the pools of spent nuclear fuel is believed to be vaporizing due to a failure of the cooling system. This could expose the fuel rods, causing them to melt and discharge radioactive material into the air. The Tokyo Electric Power Company says it decided to start the water dropping operation at the number 3 reactor when it saw steam coming from the reactor. The power company also confirmed on Wednesday that there was still water in the pool at the number 4 reactor. The company also says that since the water dropping operation, it has observed almost the same levels of radiation at a point about 100 meters from the number 3 reactor building. Preparations are also being made to douse the number 3 reactor from the ground. 11 large-capacity fire trucks from SDF bases are heading to the site. A Tokyo police squad will also start spraying operation soon using a water cannon truck to cool the storage pool at the building. Well, Defense Minister Toshimi Kitazawa told a news conference that he expects the latest operation to cool the reactor to be successful.
As you're already well aware, this morning, starting from 9:48 a.m. Japan Standard Time, the Self-Defense Forces helicopter squad have been deployed and have started aerial operations spraying water onto reactor number 3. Thereafter, in total, there have been 4 such operations conducted by air. With the water being funneled into the spent fuel pool, we believe that it will help to cool down the fuel.
Kitazawa said it would be best if they can repeat the operation as many times as possible, but will make his decision after considering the risks it poses to the health of his troops. And here is breaking news for you. The government just says a large-scale power outage is expected this evening across Tokyo and the surrounding areas. It has ordered railway companies to reduce the number of trains in service. Once again, the government says a large-scale power outage is expected this evening across Tokyo and the surrounding areas. It has ordered railway companies to reduce the number of trains in service. We'll bring you more on this when we get information. Now, the U.S. military says one of its unmanned surveillance aircraft has captured images of the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power plant. The collected data has been given to the Japanese government.
According to the U.S. military, the Japanese government requested for information gathering with unmanned surveillance aircraft due to concern that long-time aerial photographing and filming of the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power plant could affect the health of the workers. In response, the U.S. military offered Global Hawk unmanned surveillance aircraft deployed at Andersen Air Base in Guam for precise aerial photographing and filming of the damage to the nuclear power plant buildings. The information is being provided to the Japanese government. Global Hawk is widely used in military operations in Afghanistan and other places. The U.S. military has been already using the aircraft to grasp the situation of the disaster-hit areas in Japan.
Tokyo Electric Power Company, the operator of the stricken Fukushima Daiichi plant, says it will begin installing new power lines to restore the plant's cooling systems. The Nuclear and Industrial Safety Agency announced this on Thursday. It said restoring power to the plant is next in importance to cooling the number 3 and number 4 spent fuel storage pools.
second priority is to restore power supply, and part of this operation is going to start this afternoon. Once we get power supply, and then we'll be able to operate a cooling system using seawater.
But the Tokyo Electric Power says the pumps were doused with seawater and need to be repaired. The power company plans to use makeshift pumps to connect to the systems. Well, Fukushima Prefecture says levels of radiation that require decontamination have not been detected in any of the evacuees from near the nuclear power plant. According to prefectural disaster policy meetings, evacuees are to be screened for radiation whether they were exposed or not. More than 10,000 people were screened on Wednesday. Despite the fact that some had to brush off their clothing and shoes, no one has so far required a total decontamination yet. On the 7th day since the disaster, the power plant is still very unstable, and the prefectural government is having a hard time deciding on policies and effective measures. Well, the number of dead from Friday's massive quake and tsunami has exceeded 5,300. More than 9,300 others are still missing. Japan's National Police Agency says 5,321 deaths have been confirmed so far, and 9,329 people remain unaccounted for. In Miyagi Prefecture, 2,896 deaths have been confirmed, and more than 2,200 people are missing. Iwate Prefecture has 1,824 confirmed deaths and over 3,800 missing. Fukushima Prefecture has confirmed 546 deaths and more than 3,200 missing. More than 315,000 people are in nearly 2,300 shelters in the devastated prefectures. Many of the shelters are short of food, water, and other essential supplies. Relief efforts are being hampered by a shortage of fuel for trucks and ambulances. On Thursday morning, temperatures in some of the affected areas plunged below 0 degrees Celsius and snow has fallen. Fukushima Prefecture says 14 hospital patients have died after evacuating to an emergency shelter. Prefectural officials say 2 of them reportedly died on the bus that was taking them to a high school for shelter on Monday. 12 died after arriving there. Most of the patients were elderly and some were bedridden. The school principal says there are 4 medical staffers at the shelter, but they have only minimal medical equipment. NHK World's Hideshi Hara reports from Minami Sanriku, Miyagi Prefecture, one of the hardest hit areas. The recent cold weather is making it more difficult for the survivors there, and Hideshi has more.
The snow let up, but it's still very cold here in Minami Sanriku. A short while ago, there was a development that is hoped to provide at least a little bit of warmth to the evacuees. Japan's self-defense forces have been carrying out search and rescue operation, and today it also started to transport basic necessities to emergency shelters. The SDF's large transport helicopter flew over to the ground of Shizukawa Junior High School. It landed at 12:15 p.m. People quickly came out to help, carrying dozens and dozens of boxes. What was brought here today is 1,500 blankets. 500 will be used here, and the rest will be distributed to other shelters where helicopters cannot land. Residents say anything will help after losing almost everything they had before the disaster.
夜寒いんでね、この辺でこの時期ね、こんなあんまり寒いこともね、ないんですけどね、雪降ってね、なんか昨日もそうだけど、明日もちょっと寒いらしいんで、まあ、ものすごい助かりますね。
In addition to helicopters, the Maritime Self-Defense Force plans to use fast speed boats that can carry large-scale heavy machineries. The SDF has so far deployed over 50,000 of its members. It plans to beef up its activity to help survivors and reconstruct what has been destroyed. This is Hideshi Hara reporting live from Minami Sanriku.
Well, transportation routes connecting the Tokyo and surrounding areas and the disaster-stricken region are gradually being restored.
along the railway. The Tohoku line and the Joban line on the Pacific coast have been greatly damaged after the earthquake. Therefore, the Transport Ministry and train companies have been trying to establish routes running along the Japan Sea coast. And now a new route has been opened to connect Morioka. And JR Cargo says that they will try to use this route to send fuel from Kanagawa to Morioka. And as early as this evening, this new route will be used to send relief goods from Hokkaido to Morioka. Highway bus services connecting the disaster-stricken area and Tokyo have been reopened. Yesterday, a route connecting Shinjuku to Sendai has been opened, and starting today, Itabashi in Tokyo to Sendai, and also Tokyo Station to Morioka has a new bus services. And starting tomorrow, a route connecting Tokyo Station to Sendai and Tokyo Station to Yamagata will start operation. However, in all these routes, the bus companies say that can only provide 1 or 2 round trips per day. The bus companies say that as soon as they can arrange for fuels and drivers, they will try to increase the number of round trips. And also, relief efforts are on the way. In Gunma Prefecture, the 24 ski resorts are cooperating, and they will be sending out rental ski wares and ski gloves to the disaster-stricken areas. The ski wares will be sent with the help of the self-defense force. One ski resort worker says that there are many protective gears against cold here. Therefore, he hopes that this would become useful for the people in the disaster-stricken area. More than 200 volunteer workers arrived in Asahi City in Chiba Prefecture, which has been hit by the tsunami after the earthquake, killing 12 people, and still 3 people are missing. The volunteer workers helped clean up after the tsunami, shoveling out dirt from inside the house and also carrying out damaged furniture. This man says that he thought that he might be able to provide some help, and he's happy that he is able to come here. One victim or survivor says that he's really grateful that strangers are lending a helping hand. Information about telephone lines. First, about cell phones. NTT Docomo says that for Yamagata and Akita, because the power has been recovered, telephone services have been reopened. However, for Iwate, Fukushima, and Miyagi, along the coastal areas, because the telecommunication stations have been damaged, it may take more time to recover service. There is a mobile telestation that will be sent to several areas, and also power source cars will be sent to Aomori and also to 11 other areas, so that service can be expanded to other areas. And also, charging equipment, power charging equipment for cell phones will be established in more than 170 locations in the disaster-stricken area. SoftMile Mobile says that in Tochigi and Kanagawa, service has been reopened. However, in the disaster-stricken areas, still communication is not possible yet. But in Miyagi Prefecture, there is a mobile station set up in Iria Elementary School, and gradually service is recovering. KDDI says that they will also provide a mobile communications station in Iwate and Miyagi, altogether 6 places. Fixed lines. Because of damages in exchange stations in Miyagi, it may take time until service is recovered. In Wakabayashi City Office in Sendai and in Koriyama High School in Fukushima, about 859 emergency and temporary free public phones have been provided.
Once again, what's happening today? Helicopters from Japan's Self-Defense Force have dumped water on the crippled No. 3 reactor building at the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power plant.